Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today. We're diving into a topic that honestly affects every single one of us, but somehow it still feels like a complete mystery. We're talking about the emotional puzzle of our disappearing paychecks. You know the feeling, right? Why is it that we work so incredibly hard, yet constantly feel like our money is just slipping right through our fingers? Well, buckle up, because we're going to break down the art and psychology of spending well. We'll be relying on some absolutely fascinating behavioral science and financial psychology to help you take back control.
So, here's a question for you. Why do you feel amazing after buying something and then almost instantly you regret it? Seriously, think about your last online purchase. You probably know exactly the feeling I'm talking about. We're so often told that struggling to save money is just a math problem, right? Like just spend less than you earn. Simple. But if it were purely logical, literally no one would be in credit card debt. The reality? Overspending isn't a math problem. It's actually a nervous system problem. Our financial habits are deeply, deeply tied to how we soothe ourselves and regulate our emotions.
Which brings us to retail therapy. And listen, this isn't just some funny buzzword, it's a very real behavioral mechanism. It totally validates what so many of us experience. When you have a really stressful day and you impulsively click buy now on something you definitely don't need, you aren't actually buying that item. What you're really buying is the feeling of comfort or safety or relief that comes attached to it. For a lot of people, making a purchase creates this immediate emotional shift. Stress goes down, and suddenly life feels manageable again. The catch, of course, is that the relief is totally temporary, but the guilt that hits you right after, yeah, that's very real.
All right, so here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1, why your paycheck disappears, 2, your brain on spending, 3, the invisible spending traps, 4, money's true purpose, and finally 5, the art of spending well. Understanding these hidden forces is absolutely the first step to taking back control of your financial life. Let's get into it. Section 1. Why your paycheck disappears. It's not your wallet, it's your wiring. Okay, take a look at the staggering study from 2015. 60% of Americans spend every single penny they make. 60%! Now, society loves to label this as a lack of discipline or just plain laziness, but psychology tells a completely different story. For a lot of people, this is an entirely unconscious pattern. Think about it. When you grow up in an environment where money was unstable or maybe treated like this taboo secret, you develop deeply ingrained beliefs. Some people unconsciously believe money is just going to disappear anyway, so their brain essentially tells them, hey, spend it, enjoy it before it's gone. It's a learned pattern, guys, not a character flaw. Moving on to Section 2, your brain on spending, the biology of the transaction.
So researchers at Duke University found something wild. Our prefrontal cortex literally lights up when we see a discount or a good value. But here is the catch. You know that massive dopamine spike you feel? It actually happens during the anticipation of the purchase. The thrill is entirely in the hunt. Your brain gives you this huge chemical reward before the package even hits your doorstep. But check out column 2. Once you actually own the item, the dopamine just completely drops. You open the box and suddenly, well, it's just another thing you have to dust. This mismatch is exactly what drives endless impulse buys. We are basically just constantly chasing that temporary anticipation high.
And to make matters worse, we really need to talk about payment decoupling. Back in the day, handing over physical cash actually hurt a little bit, right? You literally felt the physical loss of paper leaving your hand. But today, you tap your phone, you scan a card, you click a button at 2 a.m., and boom, payment successful. Digital convenience has completely removed the physical sting of spending. Your brain simply stops connecting that frictionless swipe with the actual painful reality of losing money. So just how dangerous is this decoupling? Well, look at this number. An MIT study found that people spend up to 40% more when using cards or digital payments compared to physical cash. 40%. Really think about that. The exact same pair of shoes or the exact same dinner suddenly feels vastly cheaper to your brain simply because you didn't have to touch paper money. The convenience is literally short-circuiting our logic. And this stuff compounds over time, a lot like genetic habits. Check out this incredibly fascinating study on mice. Researchers tracked mice that naturally loved running on a wheel. By the 10th generation, their offspring were running 75% more. By the 16th generation, they were running double the mileage. Basically, the financial behaviors you observed in your parents, whether that was intense anxiety over bills or super careless spending, those act as inputs into your brain. Those childhood observations compound over time. heavily influencing your spending behavior today without you even realizing it's happening. Section 3. The invisible spending traps. These are the cognitive biases actively working against your wealth. Now, these traps, they feel entirely logical in the moment. First up, we've got anchoring bias. This is when you see a jacket marked 70% off and your brain just screams, "Deal!" You feel like you're saving money when in reality, you're just spending money you never planned to part with in the first place. Then there's the sunk cost fallacy. That's keeping that gym membership you literally never use just to sort of punish yourself for not going. Next is hedonic adaptation, which is when your lifestyle automatically upgrades as your income does. That nice new apartment feels amazing for a month, but then it just becomes your baseline normal. And finally, future discounting. Our brains are hardwired to value the present way more than the future. We would much rather take $50 today than $100 next year, all because we crave that quick satisfaction. All of these biases culminate in this absolute truth, the Parkinson's law of money. The general principle states that work expands to fill the time allotted for it. Well, the exact same thing applies to your wallet. Your spending will automatically expand to fill the exact amount of income you give it. This right here is the main driver behind lifestyle creep. It's exactly why making a six-figure salary doesn't instantly solve your money problems. If your spending isn't intentionally controlled, a higher salary really just means a more expensive set of invisible traps. That brings us to Section 4, Money's True Purpose. It's time to completely reframe wealth. We really need to rethink what money is actually for. The author Morgan Housel argues that the ultimate goal of money is not to just accumulate a giant mountain of stuff. Money is a tool, and it serves three legitimate purposes in a very specific hierarchy. Step 1 is security. This means covering your basic needs and removing the constant, heavy stress of survival. Because let's face it, you can't enjoy anything else if you're worried about your next meal. Step 2 is freedom. This is using money to literally buy control over your own time and your own schedule. And finally, step 3 is experiences, spending on actual fulfillment and relationships. The fatal mistake most people make is inverting this hierarchy. They actually sacrifice their security and freedom just to buy stuff to impress people they don't even like. So look at how we should categorize our spending moving forward. Appreciating purchases, over in the first column, are things that actually compound the value of your life over time. Think buying back your time by outsourcing a chore you hate, investing in your health and fitness, learning a new skill, or paying for a really meaningful trip with someone you love. On the flip side, depreciating purchases lose value almost instantly. We're talking status symbols, late-night impulse buys, and those incredibly sneaky unused subscriptions. Now, Household points out that your goal isn't to zero out depreciating purchases entirely. That's just unrealistic. The actual goal is to make sure the vast majority of your money is flowing into that appreciating column, which gives you a massive return on your overall life satisfaction. And finally, Section 5, the art of spending well. Let's talk about transitioning from unconscious habits to intentional choices. Before you click buy, you have to break the automatic cycle, and we can do this using a cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT approach. Step 1, pause and analyze your thoughts. Literally just wait 24 hours. Step 2 is the absolute most vital part. Identify the feeling you are actually trying to buy. Are you bored? Are you super stressed out by your boss? Are you feeling lonely? Once you realize you're just self-medicating an emotion, you can move to step 3, change the behavior. If you're stressed, go for a walk outside instead of browsing an online store. It is all about decoupling that negative emotion from the financial transaction. This builds directly into the ultimate values-based audit. Step 1, sit down and explicitly write out your top 5 life values. Is it family, health, freedom, creativity? Whatever they are, write them down. Step 2, pull up your bank statements from the last 3 months. Now, this is going to be a little uncomfortable, but do it. What percentage of your money is actually going toward those top 5 values? You will very likely find a massive mismatch between what you say you value and what you actually fund, which leads to step 3, reallocate. Shift your spending so that your money directly supports those stated values. When your spending actually aligns with your values, you will feel wealthy completely regardless of your absolute income. I want to leave you with this really powerful quote from Morgan Housel. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of life you're building. So the next time you pull out your card or tap your phone, ask yourself, are you voting for temporary relief and status? Or are you voting for time, freedom, and deep fulfillment? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I'll see you next time.